What makes a good homeworld in VRChat? A few different factors come to mind when I consider what would make an optimal homeworld. So I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on this to hopefully help you find a perfect homeworld for yourself. The first thing that I think of that is probably also the single most important factor in choosing a good homeworld is the world size. It's really up to you, but I don't want to set a world as my home if it's very large and will take a considerable amount of time to load. The reason for this is that I don't want to have to wait for the game to launch and start up only to have to end up waiting again for the world to load. Having a small homeworld will ensure fast loading times, and in my opinion, that just makes the level of enjoyment that I get from logging into VRChat that much higher. The next thing that's important to have in a potential homeworld is a few amenities like a mirror or a video player. I think that these are important so that if you want to maybe log in to check on an avatar or test your tracking, you'll have a mirror right away and you won't have to go somewhere else and wait for more loading just to check that. And if you ever want to log in to show a friend a video or something, you'd have that right there too. I think depending on the person, you might want some other stuff like specific games or other things to interact with solely based on what you enjoy. I think that the menus that some worlds have that control things like lightings, sounds, and the quality of the world would also fall into this category. Sometimes a world like Pocket Rain, for example, will even have movable menus that make it great for adjusting settings regardless of what part of the world you're in. And I like this a lot. The last thing that I think is important to consider while looking for a homeworld is just choosing somewhere nice that you enjoy. I feel for myself at least that I really want to have a homeworld that feels really nice to be in, and also maybe has really nice music to get me in the mood for VRChat. I also like to have a world that feels like a nice place to hang out with some friends. I would never want a homeworld that is super jarring or flashy because I feel like looking at something terrible every time I open VRChat would just make me not want to play it ever. I'm not really sure why, but I also noticed while I was writing out this video that almost all of my previous homeworlds throughout my entire time on VRChat have also been on the smaller size, usually being 1 or 2 rooms, and usually having a place to lay down in case I decide to sleep in VRChat. But I think what's most important is finding a homeworld that you like, regardless of what it is, as long as you enjoy it.